Welcome to this explainer. If you are an outdoor gear buyer, a brand owner, or an e-commerce seller, you're going to want to lean in for this one. What we're unpacking today literally dictates your profit margins. Fast forward to 2026, and hitting gold in sourcing is no longer just about, finding the cheapest factory. Oh no. The Chinese outdoor manufacturing scene, it has evolved into this highly specialized, intricate ecosystem. You're not just looking at a single factory anymore, you're navigating a 3D matrix of high-altitude tech makers, lifestyle innovators, and mass-market giants. So let's jump right in and figure out exactly how to pinpoint your ace supplier in this massive landscape.
Here's our strategic roadmap for today. We'll be looking at the new 2026 manufacturing hubs, then we'll match factories to your specific buyer scale. After that, we'll talk about why MOQ is your ultimate litmus test, dive into core tech and compliance screening, and finally, look at how to absolutely nail your RFQ process.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the 2026 manufacturing hubs. Because in this game, geography basically dictates destiny. In the outdoor gear world, there's a crucial rule of thumb: geography equals specialization. And honestly, this is step one in verifying any supplier. China's outdoor manufacturing has incredibly distinct geographic clusters. You've got to go to the right place. For instance, Zhejiang, places like Ningbo and Hangzhou, that's hard goods territory. Think premium inflatables, tents, camping furniture. Heading south to Fujian, like Guangzhou or Xiamen, that is literally the global capital for technical backpacks and outdoor footwear. And Guangdong, no question, if you need an IPX7 waterproof headlamp or outdoor power banks, Dongguan and Shenzhen are your go-to spots. Finally, if you're outfitting high-altitude expeditions and need top-tier down sleeping bags that survive extreme cold, the R&D centers in Beijing and northern China are where it's at. The bottom line here, please don't go to Guangdong looking for a top-tier down sleeping bag factory. If you get the geography wrong, your supply chain is off track from day one.
Moving on to Section 2, the strategic matchmaker.
It's time to take a hard look at your own buyer profile. Now that we've got the macro geography down, we need to get into the nitty-gritty execution. And this is where the spotlight turns to you. Your specific business model absolutely dictates which top-tier supplier you should be knocking on. It's a stark contrast, really. If you're a premium brand owner, you need Tier 1 factories like Zhejiang Nature or Kailas. Why? Because they're the ones delivering Gore-Tex-level performance, deep ODM capabilities, and they'll actually protect your proprietary patents. But if you're an e-commerce seller hustling on Amazon or Shopify, knocking on those massive factory doors will probably just get you rejected. You need an ultralight integration expert like Nature Hike. You're looking for that 20D or 10D nylon feel, high turnover rates, and their proven ready-to-ship wholesale capabilities. Different business DNA means you need a completely different factory partner. But wait, the market is way more diverse than just those two extremes. If you're supplying massive retail chains, or you're all about that price-to-performance ratio, a giant like Camel is your best friend. Their immense capacity and crazy cost efficiency create a massive moat for your business. Now, what if you're targeting those luxury glamping resorts? Then Moby Garden's cotton bell tents and wooden furniture deliver that top-tier aesthetic. But, and this is a huge but for your buyers out there, glamping furniture is incredibly bulky. You absolutely must factor in those sky-high ocean freight costs or your margins will vanish. Finally, if you're a buyer who just wants to grab an entire set of RV awnings, folding chairs, and outdoor kitchens all at once, an all-in-one lifestyle consolidator like King Camp is a real game changer. They'll save you so many headaches. Section 3, filtering by volume. Let's talk about why MOQ is your ultimate litmus test. So we know who's who, but how do we filter them further? Listen, in 2026, the minimum order quantity, or MOQ, isn't just some annoying financial hurdle. It is a vital diagnostic tool that reveals a factory's true capabilities. Think about the logic here. When a massive factory hits you with a huge MOQ, they're sending a very clear signal. They're built on highly automated lines and deep R&D designed for long-term, massive retail volume. If you just want to test the waters, they are not for you. On the flip side, a low or flexible MOQ, that tells you the factory is literally built for speed and customization. They usually hold ready-to-ship inventory and can pivot on a dime for niche market demands. Here is a golden nugget for all you private label sellers out there. If you're just starting out and need to test the market without sinking your cash into massive inventory, do not go banging your head against those automated Tier 1 factories. Instead, focus on the Guangzhou backpack cluster or inventory consolidators like King Camp. Get this. You can get your custom logo screen printed or heat transferred for MOQs as low as 50 to 100 pieces. It's incredible. This lets you get real consumer feedback fast without tying up all your capital. All right, Section 4, Beyond Price Per Unit. Time to dig into core tech and compliance screening. If you've survived the matchmaking and MOQ filters, welcome to the phase where the real winners are separated from the pack. I've got to warn you, in the outdoor industry, a super cheap quote usually hides a massive compromise in your bill of materials. Let's break down a classic trap. A factory might proudly say, hey, we use ripstop nylon. Sounds professional, right? But it means absolutely nothing on its own. The real truth teller is GSM, grams per square meter. There is a world of difference in weight and tear strength between a 20D and a 40D ripstop nylon. If you try using an ultralight 20D fabric for the floor of a load-bearing alpine tent, well, that's going to be a disaster. So here's your action plan. Before you sign any purchase orders, you demand the exact GSM data and third-party tear strength test reports. Don't trust adjectives, folks. Trust the hard data. And beyond physical performance, the 2026 market has set some strict non-negotiables around ESG and compliance. This isn't just nice to haves anymore, it's mandatory. If you're making tents out of recycled polyester, you need that GRS certification. Sourcing premium down sleeping bags? If you don't have the RDS, Responsible Down Standard, high-end consumers in the US and EU will just walk right past your product. And as for BSCI or SEDEX, if you want to get your gear onto the shelves of major Western retail chains, that's your mandatory ticket in. Top-tier suppliers are already making PFC-free coatings their standard to meet these global demands. Remember, the higher you build your compliance wall, the wider your market moat becomes. Finally, Section 5, Execution and Onboarding. Let's talk about how to absolutely nail your RFQ process. So we've matched the factory, cracked the MOQ code, and set our tech standards. Now, how do we actually execute this workflow? Step 1, your RFQ. Do not just email over a couple of Pinterest photos. You have to be ruthlessly specific. We're talking 70D nylon, 3000 millimeter PU coating, must use YKK zippers. Step 2, sample validation. The second that sample arrives, what do? You immediately test the hydrostatic head and those waterproof taped seams. Step 3 is production monitoring. For critical items like tents and technical apparel, you can't wait until everything is boxed up. You've got to do inline inspections right at the seam taping stage. And Step 4, logistics planning. Outdoor gear is notorious for being bulky but light. If you don't work with a freight forwarder who knows how to optimize volumetric weight, all those manufacturing savings, yeah, they're going to get completely eaten up by ocean freight costs.
Which brings us to one final critical question. Is your next blockbuster product going to fail just because you chose the wrong OEM? In this highly specialized 2026 Chinese outdoor gear ecosystem, finding a factory that matches your scale, passes the MOQ test, and delivers on core tech and compliance, well, it's not just a nice bonus anymore. It is absolutely your ultimate competitive advantage. I hope this explainer gave you a crystal clear roadmap for sourcing, so the next time you face this massive supply chain, you do it with total confidence and control. Thanks for hanging out with me, and happy sourcing.